Welcome to X's and O's with LeRoy Butler, and we are going to talk about Thanksgiving Day and the Detroit Lions. Yeah. So we'll get right to it, and we're going to look at a play that is called wide receiver screen. Mm-hmm. And the reason this is significant is because it's a good use of Calvin Johnson. We know he's their favorite receiver.
Yep.
And even though he's not the target in this play, everything works off of him, doesn't it?
Right.
So I'll start it out. Basically, you've got Calvin Johnson here,
yep.
The other wide receiver here, and this is Nate Burleson in the slot.
Right.
And to start out, this tight end goes in motion and lines up here. Why?
Right.
Explain to us why he did that.
And the reason why, if you're in the defense, and this is Carolina's defense, all week, if you're a Carolina linebacker, you said every time Pettigrew come over in motion, they run that trap play. Remember, they had over 100 and some yards.
Right, and the trap play is Pettigrew
coming back
and blocking this guy.
First, dangerous, and the running back would hit it right up in there. So these guys kind of froze. Mm-hmm. So it's a great illusion to what's going on. So what happens is when he comes over, Pettigrew comes over, it makes it a 2-and-2. If you're the safety, you're thinking, okay, now we had a rotation this way, but when he came to make it 2-and-2, now you can't rotate anymore.
Balanced out the formation.
It makes it balanced. So now all the quarterback has to do is just get a throw out here. And the key to this whole play is Calvin Johnson. Most number one wide receivers don't necessarily like to block.
No.
But when you're his side, he came up top and got a great block, just
destroyed
a wall
that guy.
Yeah, and this guy, the cornerback was late coming over here.
And the reason why? Because he saw that
action. Because he has to be. He's actually the third linebacker in this scheme.
Right.
So he has to play the run and the pass. So he took a peek in here, and that's all you need.
Right.
And next thing you know, Burleson was out, and the safety came over just a little bit, and he hit him for a touchdown right in that gap.
And here's the throw. Stafford drops back, and it's almost a lateral.
Right. It's behind the line of scrimmage.
Right here, and, a diagonal pass, and then boom, he goes right up here. And like you said, this guy's behind and this guy's behind.
And the reason why the Packers will see this, Tom, because they don't think that the Packers secondary are good tacklers.
Right.
If you look at, LeGarrette Blount from Tampa,
right.
all the guys missed him and missed a tackle on that play. 6 guys, but they don't believe that the Packers are good tackles. So you're going to see wide receiver screens a lot in this game, left and right, different formations.
Right.
And the Packers just have to come up and make the tackle, be aggressive on this guy. And this guy would be Woodson.
This would be Woodson, right.
That would be Woodson. So Woodson likes to come in and fake blitzing. He got to go ahead and attack that guy, or you got to just come up and make an open field tackle.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And then now we're going to look at a couple more plays involving Calvin Johnson, but also involving him, but not necessarily throwing to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another play that the Lions show, and this once again is involving Calvin Johnson over here. And forgot to put the quarterback in there in the shotgun.
And you know what, his shotgun, he's a lot deeper than normal quarterbacks. I don't know why is that. And I noticed that maybe because he doesn't do a lot of steps back. But he, we'll talk about it later, he really stares it down too.
This is a big play to Calvin Johnson, and one that, I think we could probably see on Sunday or Thursday or something like it. Okay, we've got this dashes here because Calvin Johnson goes in motion before the snap of the ball. And what's the reason that they're doing this?
And the key to that, he's at the Z wide receiver, Z as a zebra. That means he can motion. Normally, sometimes he's at the X. That means you cannot motion. So when you come down in motion, you're really trying to get these corners from bumping and running. So when he came down, this again was Carolina's defense. The corner came down with him, but it made it kind of crowded. And Calvin Johnson came down, and he just kind of went up here like this.
Right.
And the safety came down and tried to get through. The tight end come out here. That all got jumbled up. But the key to this whole play, Tom, this safety has rotated all the way over here. He could have made a collision or intercept this ball. But for some reason, he tried to overthrow.
Let's talk about what happened here. This is
Yeah.
a classic pick play.
Yes.
So the tight end comes here. This guy comes here, and this guy's got to get around it.
Yeah.
This guy was wide open right
He
here.
was wide open.
This guy's trailing a little bit. And then it all comes, like you said, it comes down to this guy.
This
And
safety has to make a play here.
the great part about this is, you know, Stafford just throws it high
Yep.
right here. I mean, and if you're this guy, you know you can't outjump Calvin Johnson. He
Right.
thinks it's going to be an interception over Calvin
Yep.
Johnson's head.
Yep.
That's how high the ball is thrown.
And you remember against Dallas, if you go back to Detroit, they won that game, and Matthew Stafford threw the ball to Calvin Johnson, and he had 3 guys on him. So he doesn't care if this safety is there or not. That's why he throws a lot of interceptions. So if you're the safety, if you're Morgan Burnett, Charlie Pepper, you have to attack the football. Don't assume it's going to be a tip or an overthrow.
Right.
So you got to go through the 8 and the 1 to the football, and you'll come up with the ball. Otherwise, you know, this guy can catch that ball, split you, and touchdown.
Right. You know, and the whole thing here is the odds of you getting an interception, and they have to realize that, right?
Right,
And
right.
that you might as well make them pay for going into that.
Absolutely, and that's the key to it, because you don't have to go. I'm not necessarily saying the helmet hits and all that makes safeties a
but-
little tentative, but you got to go through this guy's
Yeah.
chest to get that ball out. Because remember, that could be 30, 40 yards, and the play's for him. It's
Yeah.
for 81. So you got to be aggressive there.
And I guarantee you're not going to get a helmet-to-helmet hit because his helmet is about 12 feet up in the air. You
That's a
know,
good
there's
point.
no way
That's a
you're
good
getting
point.
close to that helmet.
That's a good
So let's look at. We have one other play here. I'll quickly.
Yeah, that's good, Matthew Stafford. We'll show you bad Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
because we said something to the fact about him staring down his receivers.
Right, and so here we have Calvin Johnson, we have Scheffler,
Scheffler.
and then we have Burleson.
Right.
And essentially, this is somewhat similar. They're in a nickel, and the safety's up a little bit here.
Right.
But the reason we want to show this is because the
2 linebackers.
the Panthers kind of bring their linebackers in, just like the Packers would with a blitz. Okay, is he coming? Are they coming?
Right,
Are they
right,
not coming?
right.
And Stafford has to figure that out.
Yeah, give him a corner here and a nickel. And the problem
so
with
the
this,
corner-
though, Tom, this defense is either you got to, if a guy's on the ball, you got to be in bump. If
Right.
he's off the ball, you got to be off because it gets too confused. But the problem is they don't know. Matthew and the center is trying to determine what do I set the protection, because these guys, if they're blitzing, I don't have enough guys. And you got 6 guys coming.
Right.
You know, it's a one-on-one, but who do I get the ball? Now, I will say this. Calvin Johnson just took off right here, and he was open early. He was open.
Early, there was a window
Yeah, it was-
right.
That's a key word. The
Here.
first window, he was open. But for some reason, when these guys went here and came in here, this linebacker came out. Can you show him popping
Bailed
right
out-
there?
bailed
He
out
bailed
right
out there,
like that.
and he got an interception
And
right there.
so did this guy. And Stafford is
He had enough
interesting.
time to go to his second progression,
Right.
but for some reason, he just kind of threw it off his back
There was
foot.
a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, a
here
little bit
in
of pressure flashed in his face.
But he decides, and you could see he just gave a little glance over
Yeah,
to the left,
right, right.
and then he really locked in on.
See, if you
Scheffler.
want to go to this side, that's fine. As a quarterback, your progression, you can look here to look the safety off. All you need the safety to do is take one step over, come back and hit Calvin Johnson on the seam right there, right away. It's in that first window. But if you don't do that, if you hold it, which the Packers are going to try to make him do,
Right.
then now you get interceptions because
Right.
he got to, in his mind, I got to make something happen because I missed my opportunity.
Right, and it's funny because we saw Calvin Johnson. He's looking right here. He's
Yes.
looking. He's like, throw it,
Yeah,
throw it,
right.
you know, and he didn't. And instead, he
Yeah.
went that way. So, you know, I mean, he came back. This was early in the game.
Right.
He corrected his mistakes. He stopped staring guys down. But I'm
And he
sure
ended
they
up throwing
talked to him.
5 touchdown passes. Matter of fact, I was shocked, Tom, because he threw 5 touchdowns. None of them were to Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
So you know, this week, hey, I need a touchdown. I haven't gotten one. I only
Right.
had 2 catches. So.
Right. So, you know, I think this is something that I'm sure Dom Capers is looking at, and I think they're probably going to be running guys in and out
Right.
to try to,
Absolutely.
confuse him as best they can. So we will see whether that play shows up, or any of those
Yeah.
plays shows up on
I
Thursday,
think
it'll
they
be fun to
might.
watch.
I think they might.
Yeah,
So,
it should be a
happy
good game on
Thanksgiving to
Thursday.
everybody. Happy holidays.
Absolutely, same here. And
I'll be at Fox River Mall in Appleton on Friday at 9:30 signing autographs, so you can come over and get an autograph. And W.J. Kuhn in Oak Creek and CenixMarket.com. Cenix Ballester owned and operated.
okay, and we'll see you next week.
I'll bring you a turkey next time.
Okay, please do.